Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today I'll be talking about the Overwatch World Cup 2023 results. I'll be talking about the group stages and the playoffs all in one video. And yes, just like I said or in the description of my team's video, this will be the final Overwatch video ever on this channel. So milk it up, I guess, we'll say. But before we get into the results, let's first have a look at the teams who competed in this year's Overwatch World Cup. So here are the teams. So China was invited because of the shutdown of Overwatch in that country. And then for the Americas, we have the United States, Canada, Mexico, Colombia, Brazil. From Europe and Middle East, we have United Kingdom, Spain, and then France, Saudi Arabia, and then and Finland. And then in APAC, or Asia Pacific, we have South Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, Australia, and Thailand. So let's first have a look at the group stages. And actually, I'll just hide these ones. So first start off with Group A. So Group A, first start with Finland versus Mexico. So 2-0 victory for Finland against Mexico on Busan and Parisio. No surprises there. And then South Korea, they beat Colombia 2-0. 2-0 Busan, 3-0 Blizzard. Well, once again, no surprises there. Day 1, it was Colombia versus Mexico. It was the battle of basically 3rd and 4th, well, mainly 3rd. And it was Colombia winning that one, 2-1 victory for Colombia against Mexico, 2-1 for Samoa for Colombia, 3-2 for Circuit Royale, and then Ukraine straight went to the side of Colombia. And then Finland, they 2-0'd Colombia, no surprises there on both Ilios and Circuit Royale. Pretty close on Circuit Royale, given that, but not really that close either way. South Korea, they to Mexico as well. Once again, Circuit Royale pretty close, 3-2, but once again, Korea beating out Mexico. And to find out who was the first seed of Group A, it was a very close game for South Korea versus Finland, and it was South Korea winning that match, 2-1. Well, I should say, so Samoa went to Korea, Circuit Royale went to Finland, and New Junk City went to South Korea. Group A all done. Let's now have a look now at Group B. Group B had the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and Brazil. So, Great Britain versus Canada. This was a bit of a shocker to me. But at the same time, Canada, they were a bit bad, I'll be honest. I mean, Canada's roster is not as good as the UK, I'll say that. So it was a 2-0 for the UK, and once again, no surprise there, Ilios and Circuit Royale, both of them going to the UK. Australia beating out Brazil 2-0, so the power of friendship was not on Brazil's side, sadly. No surprises there, Ilios and Circuit Royale, both of them going to Australia. However, it wasn't all sunshine and roses, though, for the Kangaroo Land, as they got beaten out by Canada. 2-0, pretty convincing win, I'll be honest, even though as an Australian myself, I'm very sad about this. Samoa Circuit Royale, pretty convincing win for Canada. As they continue their dominance, as they 2-0 Brazil, once again, no surprises there. I mean, Busan and Parisio, no surprises there. The UK, they absolutely destroyed Australia. Busan and Circuit Royale, both of them going to the side of the UK with no points going for the side of Australia. And they also destroyed Brazil as well on day 4 to get the first seed on Group B. It's Group C now, and it was China, Spain, Thailand, and Hong Kong. Pretty interesting group, I'll be honest, because it was mainly APAC and Spain. So, either way, Thailand versus Hong Kong will first start off with. It was Thailand beating out Hong Kong. No surprise there, I'll be honest. 2-0 victory for Thailand against Hong Kong. However, they got 2-0 at the next day by Spain. No surprises there. Ilios and Rialto, both of them going to Spain. China, they 2-0 Hong Kong. No surprises there once again on Ilios and Circuit Royale. Day 3 side of with China, 2-0 against Spain. However, Midtown was pretty close. 4-3, relatively close. However, it was a 2-0 victory for China. Spain, they bounced back as they 2-0 against Hong Kong. No surprises there. Busan and Midtown both going to Spain. And China, they beat out Thailand 2-0 to get the first seed in Group C, along with Spain advancing with them in second. And then finally, Group D, it was Saudi Arabia, United States, Japan, and France. And let's first start off with Japan versus France. France imploded. What the hell happened to France? I was fully expecting Japan, I'll be honest, to be in 4th. However, I knew that they were going to pick up a great fight considering the talent that they'd had in Japan. I was very, very surprised that France kind of fumbled. Even with their 15,000 coaches, they still fumbled. A 2-0 victory for Japan, relatively close on Blizzard World and Samoa, but still either way it was still Japan beating them out. However, they did get 2-0 by Saudi Arabia, Busan and Route 66, both of them going to side of Saudi Arabia. The United States almost lost to France. Never thought I would ever say that in this video, but they almost did. 2-1 victory for the US against France. Busan went to the US. Circuit Royale then went to France, which was very close, 5-4. And New Queen Street was an absolute cakewalk for the US. However, this match, Saudi Arabia versus US, is kind of opened everyone's eyes, as in, oh god, Saudi Arabia are actually going to be good in this World Cup, as they 2-0'd against the US in Samoa and in Blizzard World. And once again, they 2-0'd France as well. Ilios and Circuit Royale, even though Circuit Royale was pretty close, but still, either way, Saudi Arabia still won. And the US also obliterated Japan as well on both Ilios and Route 66. So let's now have a look now at the playoffs. And first off, with South Korea versus Canada, it was South Korea beating out Canada first. This also obviously the first game on stage. A 3-1 victory for South Korea against Canada. Lee Chang-tao went to Korea. Blizzard World though went to Canada, which was 5-4, which was really, really close. But then New Junk City and New Queen Street both then going to South Korea. And it's also worth mentioning as well that New Queen Street was played off-stream due to the start of the BlizzCon opening ceremony, which basically took them 15 years. China, they absolutely obliterated the US. I'll be honest, I'm not really surprised, but maybe a bit. 3-0 victory for China. Lijiang Tower, Midtown, New Queen Street, all of them going to China. Finland also obliterating the UK, which this one was very surprising to me. China US one, I mean, China, most of them are Overwatch players. In the US, they have some decent players, but not really the best from like good teams. I mean, most of them were from the Toronto Defiant. Toronto Defiant weren't that great in the Overwatch League. However, in China, Hangzhou Spark were very, very good, and the Guangzhou Charge were meh, but I don't think Far Away 1987 was even played, I'll be honest, which is pretty sad. But either way, for Finland, this was a massive surprise to me, considering that the UK, they've been dominant throughout the Overwatch World Cup, and Finland kind of surprised them. Either way, though, very victory for Finland against the UK. And Saudi Arabia, they absolutely destroyed Spain. A 3-0 victory for Saudi Arabia against Spain. Lee Chang-tao, Paricio, and Saravasa, all of them going to Saudi Arabia. Now, this is where we get to a lot of 3-2s. South Korea versus China. A 3-2 victory for China against South Korea. This was kind of when the empire of South Korea has fallen. That they just lost to China. Now, to be fair, China, like I said, they have some amazing players. South Korea also have some great players as well. But South Korea, I mean, there wasn't this South Korean roster they had this year in 2023 was not the best roster that they could have gotten. In my opinion, I think there could have been like more players that they could have gotten for this team, but it was an interesting choice in my opinion. Maybe because of Rush, but I don't know. Either way, though, Busan went to South Korea. Paricio and Saravasa both went to China. Esperanza went to South Korea, and Route 66 went to the side of China to wrestle themselves into the grand final. Another close game was Saudi Arabia versus Finland, the EMEG battle, and obviously I mentioned in the teams video that there was some controversy around these two teams, about mainly LH Cloudy and Yizna. However, Saudi Arabia put up both of these teams actually put up an amazing battle. Busan and Blizzard World, both of them went to Saudi Arabia. Blizzard World was very close. They went to overtime, pretty sure once. Savasa and Esperanza, both of them going to Finland. And Route 66, overtime once again, went to the side of Saudi Arabia to advance themselves into the grand final. But before we get into the grand final, we need to first talk about the third place match. Who was going to get third place? Well, it was Finland, beating out South Korea. This was obviously when the Empire of South Korea fallen, when they lost to Finland. And Finland, they weren't really a team that people were putting, that was circling as being one of the best teams in this match. Or I should say in this event. I think there was definitely like China, South Korea, US. Maybe those were like three. Obviously Saudi Arabia obviously has some fans as well. I mean, I know I was definitely one of them that was like, okay, Saudi Arabia probably going to get top 4, in my opinion, considering that the bracket was legit favored for them, mainly with Spain. But either way, I mean, Finland being at South Korea, that was a massive upset, a big surprise to me as well. Samoa went to Finland, Blizzard World and Sarvasa both then went to South Korea, and New Queen Street and South Korea, which went to overtime once or twice, I'm pretty sure, went to Finland. And so they got the 3rd place medal. And South Korea, this is the first time as well that South Korea will not finish in the top 3, I'm pretty sure. First time ever. In the Overwatch World Cup's history, South Korea was always in the top 3 at least. So their worst place finish was 3rd in 2019. This is now their worst finishing result as a country. 4th place with no medals. So that was a bit of a surprise there. In the grand final, it was a reverse sweep for Saudi Arabia versus China. Now, obviously, I would say different people have different opinions about these two countries, especially Saudi Arabia. But you can't ignore the fact that these two teams played exceptionally well. It was an amazing match. And to be fair, I only watched Route 66 because I was watching NASCAR, obviously motorsport. But I did watch a bit of the Route 66, the final matches of Route 66, and my god, was it an amazing game. It was phenomenal. Samoa and Blizzard World, those literally the first 2 maps that went to China, and then Sarvasa, Esperanza, and Route 66, both of them go to the side of Saudi Arabia. And Route 66 also went to overtime once as well. So it was a phenomenal game. Absolutely amazing game. Congratulations as well to Saudi Arabia. A massive upset as well of winning the Overwatch World Cup. I don't think anyone had Saudi Arabia winning the Overwatch World Cup. So a massive congratulations to Saudi Arabia. They absolutely deserved it. They played out of their minds. So huge congratulations to Saudi Arabia for winning the Overwatch World Cup of 2023. Now I would like you now to like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me, especially on this channel as we get nearer to the end of the year. And just like I said, this is also the final ever Overwatch video I will ever make on this channel, mostly starting next year. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys all next time in the next one. Goodbye.